Hello, everyone, and welcome to Excel Basics. My name is Christina. I'm a public services librarian at the Palos Heights Public Library. And please let me know at any point throughout the class if you cannot hear me. I am working with an older microphone, so sometimes it doesn't work, but let me know. So before we get started today on Excel Basics, I was going to let you know about some of our upcoming programs at the library. So most importantly, we have our very first fundraiser this Saturday, October 14th, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. You can either get your tickets at the door or come to the circulation desk at the library and buy your tickets. And the proceeds will go to funding our library. Also coming up tomorrow evening, Tuesday at 7 p.m., October 10th, we have When Football Was Football, talking about the Chicago Bears and the birth of the NFL. We also have coming up this Thursday, October 12th at 7 p.m., Chicago Sweet Bakeries Remembered. So it's about the history of some of Chicago's most famous bakeries, and that is in person only. And we also have Sunday at the cinema again this coming Sunday, and we're doing A Man Called Otto. And again, that's this Sunday. So that's just some of the programs coming up this week at the library. Now, before we get started, I will let you know you are muted just so we don't have any accidental interruptions, but anytime throughout the class, if you have any questions, there should be a chat button either at the top or bottom of your screen. It kind of looks like a little speech bubble. You can just put your questions in there and I will answer them throughout the classes today. So let's get started on Excel basics. You can see here in an example of an Excel spreadsheet. First, we're going to go over the layout of Excel and how all the things are organized in Excel. And it's very similar to Microsoft Word if you know Microsoft Word. This top part here, the green part, is called the ribbon. And in the ribbon, you have different tabs. And in each tabs are different groups. So I'll go over what's all at the top here. You will see at the very top, in the top left, there's the icon for the save. It's a quick save. It looks like an old floppy disk. You would click on it and it would save the progress that you have in your Excel spreadsheet. You have the undo and redo button. They're grayed out right now because I haven't done anything since I've opened this file. But it would be white if you were able to undo or redo anything. This here, if you want to go, I am on a tablet. So if you want to go into what they call touch mode, you would have that here. If you're on a PC, it probably won't have that option, especially if your PC does not have a touch screen. And here is also where you can customize more of your what they call the quick access toolbar up here at the top. So you can also have new option to create a new file, open an old file. We have the save function. You can also email or quick print, print preview, imprint, spell check or spelling, undo and redo we have checked. We have sort, ascending and descending. It's also the touch mouse mode if you want to go into touch mode, and even more commands. So if it's checked, that means it's going to show up here. If it's unchecked, it means it's not on your quick access toolbar. So for example, if we want to put the open, I put that on right there. So now you can see the little folder for open. So you can accessorize that how you would like. Going all the way over to the right side here, We can have auto hide ribbon, which means it would hide all of that right there. As you can see, that just went away. If I want it back, I can turn that off and have that back on. We also have the minimize option. So that will minimize this screen here without closing it. So for example, you can see it just minimized it without completely closing it. It's still at the bottom of my screen, and I can just click on it and it'll bring it back up again. There we go. We also have what they call restore down. That will make the window smaller without completely minimizing it. So if I want to have multiple projects open at the same time, but be able to see them. So for example, maybe if I was taking data from another file and just typing it in here, and I wanted to see both at the same time, I could restore it down. If I want to make it full again or maximize, just click on it and it'll take up the full screen again. This X here is going to close the file. So only click on that if you're done for the day and make sure that you've also saved. But usually will ask if you want to save if you haven't saved before closing. Right here, if I'm signed in to my Microsoft account or my Outlook account, it's going to have my name there. And here, if I want to share with other people, that will give me a quick option and will open up lots of options for me, whether to save to the cloud, especially if, as I said, if I'm signed into my Outlook account, it will know to save it to my Outlook account if I share it that way. So those are those buttons. So then getting into the different tabs here, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different tabs. The first one is file. So if I click on it, it's going to give me lots of options, usually for saving it or printing it or sharing it. This is the main info of it, so how big it is and where it's saved and stuff like that. This is also where I can go to a new file, where I can open an old file, save the current file that I'm on, and it will save it to where it's been saved before. If I hit save as, that gives me the option to save it to a new location on my computer. Or say if I have a thumb drive or a flash drive plugged into my PC or tablet, that will give me the option to find that flash drive and I could save it onto that flash drive. Printing it, another spot for sharing. So I can either share with people to the cloud, or this is where I can send it in an email. Export it. I also can export it as a new file type. So if I want to send it to someone as a PDF instead of an Excel spreadsheet, just in case maybe they don't have Excel, but they have a PDF reader, you could do it that way. Or here I can also choose other file types. Publish it. Again, this is another spot I could save it to the cloud. And close, again, is going to close this file. Again, make sure you have saved before you close. Here I can also see more of my account information and other options here. Brings up a whole nother menu by. We'll go into that if we have time. Most important in file is the saving, the save as, printing, and also where you can open new or old files. And again, if you have any questions throughout the class, feel free to put any of your questions in the chat. It looks like a little speech bubble, and it should be either at the top or bottom of your screen. And I will answer any questions throughout the class. onto the Home tab. This is where you're going to find a lot of some of your main, main formatting. So you can see it has little groups. Each little box is a little group. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups in Home. You have your standard copy, pasting, and cutting. You also have your fonts, just like you do in Word, where you can change the font and the size and even color. This is also where you can see borders. So if you want to add a border around your data, for example, I can click on this and it'll give me lots of options. So let's say we just want all borders. You can see this now has thick black lines around it. If it's gray, that means no borders are going to show up when you print. But if it's black like this or any other color like this, these borders will print out when you print your Excel spreadsheet. We also have alignment. So how these numbers or these words are aligned in the cells here. So for example, right now this should be, I believe this is left, but if I want to put it on the right, you can see it moved a little bit. Here's center, and here's all the way to the left. There we go. There we go. So that stops disappearing when I show it. Then the next next group here is number. So this is how your number values will show, such as date and amount here as shown. Right now it's under general, so it will just show how it is as you type it. But you can even change in this pop-up menu here how many decimals it can show. Let's see. Oh, that's in number. Okay, if you have it on number, you can even show how many decimal places it will go to. So I'll round up to the next nearest decimal point. So usually, when you first open an Excel spreadsheet, it's just going to be under general. But if you want, say your data is currency, you can set it to be currency. If you have lots of dates or time as your data, you can select it here and even select how it will show up when you type it in. So right now I do believe, yeah, this one's set to date. And yeah, they have it set to the top one here, 2014, 2012, like that. But you can set it to type it out completely. You can set it to just have the month and the date. You can set it to have month, date, and year. You have lots of options for how you can have it. There's also time, percentage, and again, I selected decimal places, fraction, and then there's custom ones, special ones for zip code and phone number, or you can have it just as text only. So you have lots of options for how your data will show up. Here you also have, again, alignment for your cells, font, borders, if you want each cell to be like filled in with a color. And then you can even have it locked here, but I'll go into that in a bit. So you can have net formatting for your numbers here. Then there's more styles here for cells. So if you want your cells to have a heading style, they have some preloaded styles for you. Here, in this group here for cells, this is an easy way to add or delete rows and columns. Just in case you maybe make a mistake, you realize maybe you forgot to add a date here. So you can insert a row here, and it will insert the row above the one you had selected. If you realize maybe you have too many rows or columns somewhere, you can also then select the row or column you want deleted, and you can just delete it, and there you go. So that's a quick way to do it. So if you need more rows, select the row here. If you need more columns, select the column, and then will show insert sheet column or delete the sheet column. So there's a quick way to do that. If we realized, you can see here, it's already been done. If you realize, say you want to make a header, but your title is too long for one cell, you can select two cells by holding, click on one and then hold shift when you select the other, and you can see it's highlighted both. You can either merge here or merge here. Just click on it and you can see those two cells have now become one cell, and I can type in that cell and we'll have more space instead of having your words get cut off when your cell is too small. So you can do that. Here's also where you can sort your cells. You would have to have them selected. So again, hold shift when you're selecting, when you click, and that will select all the cells. And you can click here to sort. You can do oldest to newest or newest to oldest, or you can do custom sort. And you can click on sort by, in date, item, category, or amount. So you can see here it's already sorted by date. But maybe I want to sort by amount. Click on that. Smallest to largest. Hit OK. And there you can see here it's now sorted all of these by the amount now. If I want to change it back, I can go back to date and say oldest to newest here and hit OK. And it's then resorted them again by date. But make sure you have them all selected, because otherwise if you just have one row selected, it's just going to sort the row and not the other, or it's going to sort the column and not the other columns. So that's the home so far. Here we can go to insert. And this is where you can insert tables. Here you can also insert pictures, either from your computer or online. There are some other additional add-ins from the Microsoft Store. I won't be going into that right now. This is where you can insert charts based off the data you already have in your Excel spreadsheet. And if when you're doing that, you want to, again, make sure you have your data that you want in the chart selected. And you can go to here to see all the different charts that they have. You have line charts, column charts, lots of different column charts, a pie chart. These are just the ones they have recommended, but you can also go to all charts so you can see all the different, they have column, line, pie, bar, area, XY scatter, stock, surface radar, lots of different types of charts. So you would want to see which ones would work best with the data that you have. Usually the ones they have recommended would probably be some of the best ones. There's also tours, 3D maps, spark lines, which are very similar to charts. We also have filters. You can insert hyperlinks here, a text box or a header footer. And here is also where you would go into the equations or symbols. Sorry, equations or symbols. Another word, or formulas as well. Next up is page layout. Again, themes. So they have some preloaded themes. So if you wanted to add a little bit of color or design to your Excel spreadsheet, this is where you could find it here in themes. Page setup. This is mainly for when you're ready for printing. You can select the margins for the paper you want to print out on. You can select custom margins down here. And you could set the margins to whatever you want by using the arrows here. And there's also a print preview function here, so you can see what it would look like when it's printed out. Right now it's pretty small. When you're done, just hit the back arrow up here in the top left. And you can see here now a line has shown up. So that's showing you where the edge of your page would be, just so you don't accidentally print off the page. Right now we're in portrait, but you could change it to landscape for when it prints out. Oops, sorry about that. Size of your page. Standard letter size is 8.5 by 11. So make sure you have the right size of paper for you to print out on. There's the standard letter size is 8.5 by 11. Legal is 8.5 by 14, and ledger is 11 by 17, but that's quite large. And then larger than that, you're starting to get to like poster size. You can also insert a page break and even a background. You can tell it to scale to fit so that your tables will automatically fit on the page. And here you can also even ask to see the grid lines and the headings. You can take those off if you want, but then it's a little bit harder to see where all the cells are without the grid lines. You can also, this is for if you have pictures or charts or anything on your page, you can tell it to bring the chart forward or send it backward on the plane. This is also where you can insert more formulas or functions. So say you wanted the totals of all of the amounts, or a total of how many dates you have on this log. You could insert some. So let's say we wanted to put some in. You could either manually type the cells that you want in. So for example, you would start with A5 to A11, or you can also, again, make sure shift and hold. There we go. It does it automatically for you. You can see here A5 colon to A11, and that would be the sum. And so I would click off the cell. Oops. manually type it in. Okay, A5 colon to A11. And then enter. There we go. Except it's put it as a date. Hold on. Oh, I know why. Okay, the sum would work for that. Okay. Well, I know why that. It's sum if. I meant sum if. So you can see different functions work differently. So sum works better if there is a general or currency value in there. I would want sum if to, if there's a number in that cell, then to count it as one. So that's why that wasn't quite working. But there's lots of different functions for Excel. And there is you can find guides on how each function works. So you can see they have them sorted by different text, different date and time, lookup, math and trigonometry, and more here. And they even have them sorted by recently used. So if there's ones you're using a lot, you can find it here. And even just also type it in. So if you know what type of function you need, you can search it up here and even have a brief description of it. And this just has the most recently used, but then you can also sort them by the different types here. And there also gives an example for if you need help with this function, how to use a function. They have an Excel help for you, so you can search up the different functions so you can read up on what each one does. So let's see what's going to be used most in this tab. But there's also, if you need help with error checking and stuff like that, they have options there. Here is for data, another spot, so you can insert data from another file. So if you have access on your computer, that's a database program from Microsoft. You have that, and you have a database on that. You can get the data from there. You can get the data from the web, from text, and any other sources. And they give a description here. So say if you have something from the text, it'll open up your file explorer and you can choose the file. So say you have a Word document with data on it, you can get it from there without having to manually type it all in. If you have it from another table, you can get it from there. Oh, let's go and give it a moment. So if you want to put your data right into a table, you can select the data. Here you go, click and hold and drag, and it will have it all for you. And you can put it in there. Hit OK. And there it's made a data, or it's made a table, making a table. from my data right here. There we go. And then you can edit that table. But I'm going to close that for now. Go. Take that off. There we go. And there's some more, again, sorting and stuff for your data as well. Here, last, we have review. Again, this is where you can do spelling in the source if you have a lot of words in your new document. You can add comments if you're working on this with other people. And the last section here is view. This allows you to change how this is laid out. Again, this is where you can take off the grid lines and the headings if you so choose. Standardly, when you open Excel, it's in the normal view, but you can have the page break view, page layout view, or any other custom views you can create here. I standardly keep it on normal. You can also zoom in if you're having trouble seeing. And you can also open new windows. So that's the groups up here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat box at any time. But next I'm going to go a little bit into the spreadsheet itself here. So the nice thing about this bar right here, it's kind of called the formula bar. You can see here, it's showing you which cell you have highlighted. So think of it as like if you've ever played Battleship, the column here with the numbers. So you can see I'm E, and I'm in 15. So you can see which one I have highlighted here. And then if there's ever any text or anything like that, you can see it shows up here what text or numbers or anything I have. Or if there's even a formula that would show up here, it would show the formula, and you could edit the formula right in that bar there. And then yes, these are the columns, these are the rows. And if you notice, when you're hovering over a column or a row, the arrow is going to show up. If you click on the column or row with that arrow showing up, it will highlight the whole column or row for as long as it goes. Excel sheets are pretty much infinite. So you can have fill up as many of these cells as you wanted to. If I wanted to highlight several, again, you would have to hold Shift and go to what you wanted to select. So I could select all of those rows and columns at the same time. If you want to unselect, just click in a different cell and it will unselect them. When you have the white plus like this, that means you're hovering over a cell and you can just select it like that. But if you see, if you hover in between the different columns and rows, you will see this black line with 2 arrows on either side. That gives you the option to widen that row or column. So if I just click, and you will see the number of pixels or width will increase or decrease depending. So you can make this column or row as big or as small as you want, so you can have more space to type in. Same thing goes for the row or the rows here. You can make the row as wide as you would like. or what they call height, so as tall as you would like. And then again, if you want to merge two columns or two rows together, or even more, so you can have this entire row right here merged together like that. So you can do that at any time. Now say you have some data that you want to that you have like in multiple, you can select it by hitting this very tiny square in the bottom right here, where then it turns into a black plus. Just click on it and hold and select however many cells you want that number repeated to, and it will just repeat it for all those numbers. So that's good if you have maybe multiple dates that are the same, or multiple amounts that are the same, or maybe the category, anything like that. If it's the same and you don't want to type it in 5 times, you can just do that. I'm going to undo that though. There we go. So that's a quick way to do that. Go over my notes real fast. Perfect. Yep. Okay. So then I'm going to go over a little bit more of the formatting here. Oh, yes. And then before I do that, actually, you will also notice at the bottom here, it says sheet 1. So in Excel, you can have what they call multiple sheets. So this one screen is an entire sheet. You can name it anything you would like. So let's name this page 1, and you will notice to the right of it here, there's another plus sign. You can have another sheet right here. So this is a blank sheet here, and this will still only count as one file. So you can have multiple Excel worksheets in one file. So let's say this would be good for, let's say this is 1 month's worth of an expense log, but you don't want to put the entire year's expenses just on one worksheet. You might want to put it on each month a separate worksheet. So then you could have this as month 2 and so on and so forth. So you could have the entire year in one file, but on separate worksheets. So maybe it might make it easier to read for people. And you will also notice down here some other views, just like the views up here. This is a quick way to access those different views like that. And then you can also zoom in and out down here as well if you want to do a quick zoom without having to go to view every time. There we go. So again, back to here. Let's highlight this. This is where it can go to formatting. So let's say we want this font to be larger. We can select the font here. You can either scroll down, or if you know which font you like, you can type it in, and you can change the size here as well. So we can make this larger. So it's like that. And you can also, there's bold, italics, and underline. Again, this is borders, so if you want the cells borders to show up when it prints out, this is where you can find it. This option here is fill. So as you can see, the background of that cell would fill in if I did it. Otherwise, it's automatically always on no fill. And this option here is for the text color. So you can see it changing here. Always is always standardly on what they call automatic or black. This is the alignment, numbers, and so forth. Go, and then this is for, again, entering tables and pictures. Let's try an online picture here. So this window will open here. We give it a moment. It is taking a moment to load. So I'm going to try that again. Let's see. There it goes. Okay. So let's say supplies. And so this is going to pull some pictures from the internet that are free to use. So let's say this one. You would click on the one you would want and just hit insert. You can see here, it's a pretty big picture. You can select the corner of it, click and hold, and you can scale down the picture to what you need. And click and hold and move it to, so it stays on one page, as you can see here. Like that, so you can have a little design on your presentation. Say you're bringing this in for a presentation or something like that. And you can see while you have the picture selected, while it has these 8 white dots on it, you will see it has opened up a new menu for us called Picture Tools Format. So you can format the pictures if you so choose. You can put a frame around it with picture styles. You can add some artistic effects or change the color, corrections, even remove the background of the picture, which would then let you mark the areas to keep and stuff like that. So that's that may be harder to do, but you know, it's there. Or you can just discard all the changes if you don't want to do that. But you can have lots of effects. You can even crop the picture. So say you want maybe only like the middle of this picture, not the whole thing. You can select it to just have the middle. And then you would click off, and then see it's cropped the picture now. So whenever you want to make any changes to your picture, just select the picture, and this menu will come up. When you click off the picture, that menu will go away. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to check my notes again real fast. Again, if there's any questions or if there's anything I haven't gone over yet, or you might need me to re-explain something, feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. It's a little speech bubble. Yeah, I am getting close to the end of my repertoire for today. But I will go over again, real quick, the number settings. So you can see here the different date types. So we'll choose another one so you can see how it looks. There we go. When it changes. Again, if you just have words to type in, it'd be best to just have that under general or no specific format. This one, if you set to number, you see it's added the decimal points here, but I could change that. You can have down to no decimal points or all the way up to, I believe, infinite decimal points, but we don't need that in ours. We'll keep it to 2 decimal points. Okay. Again, you also have the option for currency. If you have currency on, remember to actually not put in a dollar sign when you're first putting in currency, because it automatically puts the dollar sign in for you. So for example, $2.50. When I hit enter, it's going to add the dollar symbol for me. If I were to put the dollar symbol in when I have it set on currencies, it would mess it up. So I can, for example, show you what it does. A lot of times it, when you have it set, it already, it can mess up the dollar symbol. Counting is very similar, but it lines up all the currency and decimal points in the column. Also date, there's time, there's percentage. And again, this is another one you can have the decimal places in. Fraction, then you would select how large of a fraction you're doing, whether up to 1 digit, 2 digits, or 3 digits. And then this will allow you to round up to halves, quarters, eighths, sixteenths, tenths, and hundredths. Scientific's more for the when you have formulas in. You can also have text. Text format cells are treated as text even when a number is in the cell. So that would ignore any numbers that you put in. And the cell is displayed exactly as it is entered. There. And then again, the formatting from the home page here. You can add borders, the fill, and so on. So that is all I had today. Again, I'm going to leave the chat open for a few more minutes in case anyone had any questions or they needed me to go over something again. Otherwise, well, thank you all for coming to Excel Basics. And don't forget about the programs I talked about at the beginning. We have the fundraiser happening this Saturday. There's still time to buy your tickets if you would like to come to that, either at the door on Saturday or via our circulation desk anytime this week.